Hey guys, I've been in a Pokemon mood and also an Avatar mood because that new DLC is coming out, and I've rewatched Avatar recently because of it coming to Netflix, so I thought it'd be fun to assign all the Avatar characters Pokemon teams. I think this has been done before, but I haven't seen any of those videos, and also, I think I'm the smartest person who's made one of these, so let's just get right into it. First up, we have Aang. He has Emolga, Drampa, Gyarados, Torterra, Victini, and Pangoro. Drampa is supposed to be Appa. You know, there's not a lot of fucking flying bison in Pokemon, so I had to find a Pokemon that could learn moves like Hurricane and Fly, so it could quote-unquote airbend, and so it could fly, and it needed to be large enough that it could transport Team Avatar on its back, and believe it or not, Drampa can. Emolga is obviously Momo. I wanted Aang to have a flying type, a fire type, a ground type, and a water type, you know, because he's the Avatar. So I gave him Gyarados. That's that big serpent he rides, and he encounters another serpent later on in the series. It also serves as the really cool badass Pokemon of the team. Torterra is the lion turtle, and Victini just looks like Aang. It kind of has the arrow on its head because of the V. It has a similar color scheme, but it also represents victory and is a good omen and is a sign of victory to come. And with the monumental challenge that is Fire Lord Ozai under Sozin's Comet, I feel like it's probably a good thing to have a Pokemon that encourages victory or makes victory more likely. And finally, Pangoro is that panda spirit that Aang appeases and consistently runs into throughout the series. Katara's team is Vaporeon, Frostlass, Milotic, Grapploct, Simipour, and Mega Audino. Liking the evolutions is fairly basic. Liking Katara is fairly basic. That's not a bad thing, they're just really popular. So I thought giving her the water type evolution just kind of made sense. Frostlass represents the painted lady. Milotic evolves through beauty, and in the Avatar show, characters are constantly telling Katara how pretty she is. That little ugly girl that likes how big Aang's ears are is like, oh, she's so pretty, no wonder you're going for her and not me. And then Aang was like, yeah, bitch, that's exactly why. Katara fights with the octopus stance, so I wanted to give her an octopus Pokemon. I picked Grapploct over Octillery because Grapploct is type coverage, and you're not guaranteed to get good type coverage for a lot of these single element benders. Simipour just kind of built like Katara. And then I wanted to give Katara a Pokemon that you associate with like healing and Nurse Joy, and the only one of those Pokemon to get a Mega Evolution is Audino. So that's why she has Mega Audino. Now let's talk about her brother Sokka. I gave Sokka Marowak, Lucario, Glalie, Surfetched, Lunatone, and Aegislash. You know, Marowak starts out as a Cubone, and both Cubone and Sokka have boomerangs and dead moms. I think is very thematically accurate. Lucario just kind of looks like the armor he wears in all of those waterbenders when they're ready to go to battle. And also, Sokka's like one of the best characters in the show, period. So I wanted to give him a busted Mega. Glalie is the male counterpart to Frostlass, and I wanted Sokka and Katara to have some type of Pokemon that has gender counterparts between the two because they're siblings. Surfetched has a sword, Aegislash is the space sword, and Lunatone is his dead moon girlfriend. Next up, we have the best member of Team Avatar. We've got Toph. She's got Ralts, Excadrill, Tyranitar, Machamp, Conkeldurr, and Mega Swampert. I wanted to give her all really buff Pokemon and really scary Pokemon, so that explains Tyranitar through Mega Swampert. Excadrill has a bit more meaning to it. She learns how to earthbend from the moles, so I was thinking she could get Drillbur and then learn how to earthbend from that Pokemon, and then when she learns how to metal bend, Drillbur can evolve into Excadrill. I think that's kind of neat. And Ralts is a Pokemon her parents gave her. Ralts looks like Toph, and I think her parents would give Toph a very girly Pokemon. Suki has Shiftry, Flygon, Oricorio, the ghost flying one, Gallade, and Roserade. I gave her Shiftry because Shiftry is deadass, just a Kyoshi warrior. Flygon has a similar aesthetic, That's all it is. It's a strong Pokemon. I think Suki would value strength, and it looks like something she'd have. The Ghost Flying Oricorio looks like it fights with fans, just like Suki does. Mienshao is another strong Pokemon. It's a fighting type. I can't really explain this one as much. It looks like it's a fighting type that fights very elegantly, just like Suki. Gallade has a similar color scheme and aesthetic, but it's also a very buff Pokemon. Suki is a very strong warrior, and I don't think she needs all of her Pokemon to be female. I don't think that really matters to her. So I think she would have Mega Gallade to kind of break gender norms. And finally we have Roserade, because in my opinion, has very similar energy to a Kyoshi warrior, and it's also deceptively strong. It's super fast and hits super hard, especially with its special attacks. Next in line is Iroh. We're gonna talk about Zuko later, so we can talk about him and Azula at the same time. I gave Iroh Poltegeist, Ludicolo, Torkoal, Chatot, Chimecho, and Reshiram. The reason I gave him Poltegeist is because he likes tea, obviously. I gave him Ludicolo because I think Ludicolo would be really helpful to have around his tea shop. Torkoal had those hot springs in Mystery Dungeon. Iroh likes to relax. And Torkoal also just has Iroh energy. Chatot and Chimecho make very pretty sounds. And, you know, I could see him jamming out with these Pokemon with his Sugi horn. And finally, Reshiram. I wanted Iroh to have a legendary Pokemon because he's old, so he's had more of a chance to run into legendary Pokemon. He was one of the people that ran into the last two dragons, period. And he's the Dragon of the West, so I thought it'd be fitting to give him a Fire Dragon legendary. It's also the Dragon of Light and the one that the hero supposedly uses in lore, and Iroh is a very good guy. So let's talk about Zuko and Azula. Zuko has Charizard, Greninja, Arcanine, Dodrio, Swanna, and Alolan Marowak. Azula and Zuko both start with Charmanders, and then they become Charizards. Zuko gets Mega Charizard Y, Azula gets Mega Charizard X because that has blue flames and is black and is generally cooler looking, and Azula uses blue flames. Zuko has the Greninja because it's the blue spirit. It's popular shit, just like Zuko. It fights with the two swords like Zuko does. They're very similar. He has an Arcanine because Azula also has a Ninetales, and her Ninetales is shiny. And I just thought that'd be fitting if they have another sibling counterpart Pokemon. Arcanine is in red and fire red. Ninetales is in blue and leaf green. And Azula is the more special of the two. She's the more liked of the two by her father. So give her a shiny Pokemon. Dodrio is that fucking ostrich horse that he rides across the Earth Kingdom. He got Swanna as a ducklet because it reminds him of his mom and all the times he interacted with the turtle ducks with his mom. And then Alolan Marowak started as a Cubone who has a dead mom, and Zuko thinks his mom is dead, but then he finds out she's just missing. I haven't read the comic. She might actually be dead, and it's also fire type, so I think it's very fitting. Talking about the rest of Azula's Pokemon, I already explained Mega Charizard X and Ninetales, but she also has a Salazzle. Salazzle is a toxic bitch. Just like Azula, they have the same energy. Gengar has that same creepy ass grin, especially when Azula goes batshit insane towards the end of the series. I think it makes so much sense for her to have a Gengar. Zoroark is a trickster with illusion, and Azula also goes into disguise to trick people, and she puts on a fake face around Zuko to trick him and try to manipulate him. And finally, she's got a Luxray for no other reason than it looks edgy and mean, and it's an electric type, and Azula is pretty good at using lightning. Moving on to the best girl in Avatar, we got May. On her team, she has Incineroar, Bisharp, Mega Scizor, Skarmory, Mismagius, and Weavile. Incineroar she got as a starter, she got as a little baby Litten. It grew up to be as edgy as her, and I just think, why not give her the fire dark type because she's the goth girl. Bisharp is, steel type Pokemon, dark type, fits her. She throws knives at people, she uses steel weapons to fight people, and also she's a goth girl. Mega Scizor, similar reason, it's red, fits thematically with her, just like Bisharp, and also it's a steel type. Skarmory, exact same reason. Mismagius is just because I wanted to give her another Pokemon that reflected her goth girl status, but I hate Gothitelle. I think Gothitelle has a horrible design, so we went with Miss Magius. And finally, I don't really have a reason for Weavile other than it looks like a Pokemon May would have. They've got a similar color scheme and aesthetic going on. Weavile throws those sharp-ass ice shards. May throws those sharp-ass knives. I think it makes sense. As for May's best friend, Ty Lee, I gave her Hitmonlee, Ty Lee, Hitmonlee. That's literally the only reason. I gave her a Medicham because they got the same pants. That's the same reason I gave her a Mienfoo. I gave her a Mienfoo and Apom also because they're cute. I feel like Apom would be something you'd see in a circus as well. And I think these would be the Pokemon she'd have out when she's trying to get all those boys to simp for her. I gave her the Bylay Oricorio because I just think it looks like her. And out of all the fire types that exist, because she is still from the Fire Nation, Oricorio is by far the most fitting. And finally, I gave her Mega Lopunny because not only do I think they'd fight in similar fashions, but you know, on the internet, they share something else in common, and I will not go any further than that. And finally, we have the final boss himself, Fire Lord Ozai. I know what you're thinking when you see this team. Holy shit. So I'm just going to read through it and then explain myself to the best of my ability. Fire Lord Ozai, the Phoenix King, has Primal Groudon, Ho-Oh, Zekrom, Gigantamax Charizard, Mega Blaziken, and Hydreigon. Primal Groudon represents Sozin's Comet because it buffs the power of all fire-type moves using its ability. Ho-Oh represents him as the Phoenix King, and Zekrom represents his absurdly powerful lightning attacks. It's also thematic because he is Iroh's brother. Iroh has Reshiram, Ozai has Zekrom. Mega Blaziken also, in my opinion, is very thematic of the Phoenix King. And it's also, in my opinion, the strongest non-legendary Mega. And I want Ozai to have very strong Pokemon. And Hydreigon just looks really fucking evil, man. It's, in my opinion, Hydreigon, out of all the pseudo-legendaries, is the one that a bad guy is most likely to have. And that's it. Those are all my Pokemon teams for the Avatar cast. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This was just kind of a, not really filler episode, but I wanted more time to work on my next big project, which is going to be a Marvel vs. Capcom 4 hypothetical roster. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know. I'll definitely get to them if there's a demand for it. You know, maybe we do Marvel characters Pokemon teams, or DC characters, or see what Goku would have on his Pokemon team, or Naruto. There's a lot we could do with this if you want to see it. If this is your first video of mine that you're seeing, hello, my name is Nosy Boy. Thank you for watching this far. Please subscribe, like if you enjoyed. Make sure you check out the video I made where I made a hypothetical Avatar fighting game roster, went over potential playstyles and movesets, and I made a mock-up character select screen for it and everything. It's the video I'm the most proud of that I've ever made. It's also Avatar themed, so if you liked this, please go give that a shout as well. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate if you take the time out of your day, you know, time you can't get back, to put into watching my content. And with that said, I'll smell you guys later.